Now, let's head over to our first impressions piece. We have a brand new show that we have to talk about for our first impressions. It came out on Disney Channel back in August. It's time for us to actually sit down and chill with the Primos. Yeah, the Primos.
Oh, Primos.
All right, so of course, this is our first impressions. What we're going to be talking about in our first impressions is the first 2 episodes of Primos, as well as just talk about the show overall. So let's actually start off first with the fact that like back in 2023, I just remember back in 2023, the whole opening came out and everybody started to like get angry about it. Were you one of those minorities who were saying like, oh, this is not going to look good because this happened, that happened?
I was under the impression that, like for me personally, my first impressions of Primos were, this doesn't look that appealing. Like I don't straight up have a hate bone for this, but I'm just saying like it could have turned out better.
No, because the thing was like everybody hated it because first off, you put references to this, references to that, like the town doesn't sound great. One of the characters didn't do good. Like the name of one of the characters is bad. And even the voice actress of Tater fought back with people, and that gave a bad look to the Primos.
Yeah, I think that was the worst part, is that whole attitude with the voice actress just did not sit well with me.
Okay, so you were one of those people that said, like, I'm not watching this day one.
I was just like, you know what? Like, if I want to watch, a show with a big family, I'll watch Loud House of Casa Grandes instead of,
because it is kind of like the Loud House at Casa Grandes.
It's sort of like Loud House of Casa Grandes. And there are even a few characters in the show itself that gave off.
Yeah, we'll explain that later. Yeah. But here's the thing, like, I've looked through every YouTuber right now that has been talking about Primos, and they've made the mistake. They put out, like, literally back in 2023, they said, like, oh my god, this show is going to be bad. This is going to be a bad look for Disney, etc., etc., etc. But I do like the fact that Disney heard those comments and made those changes. So instead of Terremoto Heights, you have Hacienda Hills, which I think is a better name than Terremoto because that means earthquake. Yeah. You're calling your city in LA Earthquake City, and I'm like, yeah, earthquakes happen in LA. What the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah, it's now I do like the fact of I do like the fact that the creators and also the directors, writers, like they listened to the criticisms of Primos and improved upon it. Yeah, I'll give them that.
Lucita is now the name of the character. And then the other thing too is that they did try to promote Primos with so many other things. Like, I don't know if you watched this, A Place in My Head, little short that Natasha Klein and Tater did, but it talked about what Primos' story was gonna be about. Like, it's about Natasha's like life in. So apparently she lives in the Inland Empire with 23 cousins or something like that. Yeah. And you're thinking that 23 cousins is a lot in a household.
It's a lot, yeah.
Well, versus 12 that Tater has.
Now, see, I like the fact that they condensed the cast. They condensed the...
I mean, they should. They should do that. They can't really put up like 12 people like in a household and actually make a good story out of it.
Yeah, that's like the literal definition of putting too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah.
That's the same thing here. You're putting too many characters in one cast.
You're putting too many characters in a show. Yes.
It's too many characters to focus on. It can make the audience feel overwhelming,
My other thing too is that I think people kind of thought that this was going to be a show about culture. And it's kind of like the Casa Grandes, where like, they live in one household. There's got to be a lot of Mexican culture popping up. But I've seen episodes of Primos recently. There is no talk about Mexican culture in the show. I just feel like it was literally what Natasha Klein said, her life when she was a kid living with many cousins.
Yeah, so that's really comes down to at the end of the day. Now, I can understand at first glance, it may seem like it focuses on Mexican culture because, well, the title alone.
Yes, yes.
But the thing is that if you look at it with more of an open eye, you will come to see that it actually has a different goal in mind.
Yeah, the only thing they speak is Spanish. That's the thing. Like, if you want to talk about Mexican culture, Spanish is the only thing that gets referenced. Yeah. But like everybody else who's in Primos are like, well, fashionistas, rock stars, a hippie, someone who loves to fart, a scientist, cheerleaders, what is it? A very cute baby. I mean, there's not really much when it comes to the Mexican culture. You don't see anything that references that. I have a feeling like that's the way the show was supposed to be. It wasn't supposed to be a Casa Grande's clone. It was supposed to be about a little girl who lives with many cousins in the city.
Well, see, the thing is that the reason why I compare it to Casa Grande's, it's not necessarily, the culture itself. They couldn't be any more different, but it's more along the lines of one girl surviving in a big family. That's how I look at it.
That's how it's supposed to be, and I think that's what Natasha was supposed to say. This was supposed to be about a kid who was supposed to live with so many cousins. And I do have to come to mind, like, it is. Well, here's the thing. I know that so many YouTubers were saying, like, was this overhated? Was it an overhated show? Did we overreact to everybody's controversy when it came to the show? And I say yes. You all, I think, overreacted way too much when it came to Primos.
Yeah, and like keep in mind, I was one of those that said, it didn't look that good, but you know what? I gave the show a watch, and from what I've seen, yeah, it's actually not that bad. I would say it's okay.
I say it's been good, actually, to be fair. I keep on watching more Primos episodes, but I know we're only discussing the first few episodes of Primos, but, like, it's been good so far for the show, if anything.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I would say not bad. I wouldn't say not great either. It's more on the lines of
average. Like, look, it's not Owl House. It's not Owl House. It's not Amphibia. It's not Big City Greens. I mean, if anything, it's supposed to be just like Big City Greens, but this time in a suburban town.
And see, here's the thing: is that I have no problem with slice of life, comedy shows being into the Disney Channel.
But right? If you've been noticing, Disney TVA has just been mostly been about the slice of life stuff. You have KIF, you have Big City Greens. You have
both outstanding shows.
Yes,
by the
both.
way.
You have Primos and you have Hamster and Gretel, which, to be fair, is a clone of Phineas and Ferb with the superhero aspect.
Yeah, I think like Disney TVA, like they even confirmed themselves, they're sort of done with the big story arc, grand story arc,
and they've done a great job with it. I mean, like, look, if they're trying to go back into something like Kim Possible, because it feels like Hamster and Gretel's kind of like that. Mm-hmm. Like, Kim Possible is like living a normal life as a spy. Same with like Hamster and Gretel living a hero life. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what Disney TVA is experimenting, but I know that they're just currently in a calm period right now. They also do have Stugo coming out later on in the year, and I don't know how that'll go.
Yeah, I'm rooting for Stugo to be good. I'm rooting for it to be watchable.
I think it's going to be probably watchable, but again, we have 4 shows that is currently airing like on Disney Channel. I sorry, I said 4, but I know there's a 5th one, but that has been on hiatus for like many months now. Mm-hmm. Sorry.
Disney, what are you doing to this lovely Moon Girl?
Yeah, Moon Girl needs.
We want some Moon Girl magic, damn it.
I know. I don't know what happened to Moon Girl magic. Is it Marvel blocking her or something to be on Disney Channel right now?
Seriously, I caught up on Moon Girl Double Dinosaur for a reason.
Yeah, so I mean, I just can't. I'm okay with what Disney Channel is doing. They have Primos, they have Hamster and Gretel, they have Big City Greens and KIF. Mm-hmm. All 4 of them are going to look great so far. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we'll see. So yes, I think we're done with the controversy. If you want to talk more about it,
yeah, I will say is that like if some reason you're still turned off by the controversies, I would say still give it like about 1 to 2 episodes. You'd be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, right. So yeah, let's actually head over to like how the show went. So let's actually start with the opening. Well, you're going to see the opening. You go to see the changes that already will pop up. Hacienda Hills is where they're gonna go into, not Terremoto Heights. Kukita is now Lucita. Remember? Yes. Don't look up Kukita, by the way. And then you get to hear like the song. How do you feel about the song for Primos?
Ay, Primos! Yeah, not only is it catchy, but it definitely gives an introduction to not just Tater herself, but they even say out loud the names of each cousin.
Yeah. Loud House doesn't do that. Oh.
Yeah, you don't hear Loud House going, there's Lincoln, Lori, Lenny, Lisa.
Yeah.
Yeah, with this, though, they acknowledge the fact that they have so many cousins to focus on, and so the opening reminds you each and every time what the names are.
Mm. I mean, like, I do love the fact that, like, she keeps on, like, what was it? Tater keeps on saying the roll call. Like, not the roll call again. And then, but I actually know the names now. Bud, Nacho, Lita, Terry, Tabby, Tonita, Scooter, Lot, Gordita,
Cha-Cha.
No. Nachito, Cha-Cha, and Lucita.
That's so many characters.
No, it's really that great. I may have butchered the T sisters, by the way, but I mean, it's pretty catchy. I'm not gonna lie. Like when you hear the song and the beat, it's just kind of cool to hear that kind of stuff. So like you hear Tater say, "I was gonna be so cool," then you all came in and I come in like a fool again. I don't know. Again, the theme song is catchy. I love it. Like I keep on listening to it now, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be my new earworm next to the Shika Noko Noko Toshita.
Yeah, move aside, dear anime opening. We got a new catchy tune.
No. I would have both on my ear. I don't care because like they both are great openings. Okay.
Oh yeah, I never forget.
Yeah.
That Dear Sweet opening.
Do you actually? No, you watch the Dear anime. I'm pretty sure you love it.
My dear friend Okutan, I love it.
It's so funny. It's so funny. Please, if you watch anime, please watch Please watch My Dear Friend Okutan. The theme song is addicting as hell.
Oh dear, we're going off topic though.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. That's my little like side topic there. Anyways, all right. So, first thing that comes up from the opening is the animation of the show. How do you like the whole like animation art wise when it comes to the show?
I will say that pre-production, it looked unfinished, but then again, it is pre-production. When I look at the show post-production, I could tell that they definitely vastly improved upon the animation, especially the colors.
Oh yeah, the colors look great, by the way. Like, I understand like it's kind of orangey, but I feel like, wait, are you living in a city of smog? Because it kind of feels that way now.
Yeah, like the colors, look at how bright they are. They're vivid, and they blend well into the sphere of, the show.
I look like the animation. I do love the animation, too, because it does seem pretty fluid and stuff.
Very.
The other thing, too, is that this is also made by a person who worked on Big City Greens. So something tells me, like, the character designs kind of feel Big City Greens like. Do you think?
I definitely will say though is that it does sort of have a Big City Greens in terms of shape, but the only difference is that BCG they had to use like in terms of the body color, it's yellow, purple, red,
I mean,
whereas there's regular human colors.
Look, that's the thing. Like I think like for Big City Greens, the way that they kind of like reference characters who are like different like types, they have it in color. But this time around, like, I feel like this is a good way to do it anyways, because it's supposed to be real humans. Yeah. That's how you're supposed to really look. So, yeah. I don't mind when it comes to the coloring. It's just more mind of, like, how relatable it is to Big City Greens and Primos. And if something tells me, like, the story is also pretty relatable, considering that it is, like, characters in a city, like, living together, trying to, like, make peace and stuff.
Yeah, it's also like from what I've seen, so far it's pretty wholesome from what I've seen.
It has been,
especially the family themes that go into the show. Yeah, they really do hold up.
So let's actually talk about the characters of the show and actually talk about Tater's family. Tater lives with his mom and dad, and also a little sister named Nellie, and alongside a baby as well. How do you like the family? Because they all have their own ambitions. Like the dad loves to be a lumberjack person, like not a lumberjack person, but like a do-it-yourself guy, and the mom is an artist herself.
Yeah, sort of similar to. Well, I'm not gonna say it, but let's talk about.
What are you saying? What are you saying?
Reminds me of a certain Casa Grande we know.
Oh my god! But she's not the mom of these primos, okay?
Anyway, so I really did like Tater and her immediate family. Now, starting off with Tater herself, she does come off as very relatable. She has big summer plans. She wants to make the most of it. And now, as for Tater's immediate family, they were pretty likable. I especially love Tater's little sister Nellie.
I am so shocked about that because Nellie is taller than Tater, and I thought she was her older sister.
Yeah, and she has that dry, sarcastic wit that just makes her, very fun to watch.
I mean, I find it weird because I think like older sisters would actually act that way, like more mature and stuff, but no, she's the little sister. And I'm like, how is that possible? That Nellie's actually the younger sister and she's more mature than Tater.
And see, that's what's a breath of fresh air is that it doesn't matter what age the siblings are. What matters is like the maturity level that they have.
I'm just surprised about Nellie. Like I thought she would actually be like, well, she is kind of like a little annoyance to Tater, but I do like the whole sibling, like sister relationship they have.
Yeah, like they do have a sisterly dynamic that is fun to watch. Like they do bicker, they do disagree, but at the end of the day, they're there for each other.
And then also the baby that they have there is also pretty cute. There are episodes with the baby if you watch more of the Primos. But for the first 2 episodes, we only just get to introduce to him as just a cute little baby. That needs a baby. That needs a diaper change.
Yeah, he's just the baby of the family.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, that was the family of taters. But then the Primos start moving in, and we have 12 of them to discuss. So let's actually start from the oldest to the youngest in this case.
Take it away.
Okay, so Lita is supposed to be a rock star. She has that pink hair and stuff. Very Luna-like to say.
So she's the Luna Loud of the show.
Yes, she's definitely Luna. Don't tell me she's your favorite already.
You'd be surprised to know I haven't picked a favorite Primo yet. I do know what my favorite character is. I'll get to that later, but I don't have a favorite Primo as of now.
Okay, and as of now, but something tells me you're kind of leaning towards her, huh?
She was one of the more engaging ones. She was one of those that caught my eye the most.
I see. Interesting. Then we have Cousin Bud. And to be fair, Cousin Bud looks more of a hippie. Like, there's future episodes that you'll see where Cousin Bud actually is in his like natural habitat, I have to say. But him loving plants and just like taking nature stuff, like.
So he's a tree hugger.
Yes, I can say he's a tree hugger. How was your first impression with Cousin Bud?
Cousin Bud didn't really stand out to me as much as the other cousins. I don't know. It's just like he didn't have much personality in comparison to others.
You'll see later in episodes. Okay, so Nacho, by the way, yes, he's like the big guy. He farts a lot. He's kind of like with his brother Nachito. And somebody tells me he's the Lin Jr. of the family here.
Oh, God. Yeah, something tells me that Lin Loud Jr. and Nacho are a good fit for each other.
Somebody tells me because, like, he does all the stuff that Lin Jr. does. I don't know if he does sports, though, but yeah. It just reminds me of Lin Jr. a lot for some reason.
Yeah, whether or not he does sports, well, don't tell me yet. I have to find out.
I actually haven't found out yet.
I see.
So, yeah.
Really? I'm surprised.
Yeah, Nacho does have an episode, by the way, in Primos. I'm not going to discuss that till later. Then we have the T sisters. We have Terry, Tabby, and Tonita. All 3 of them are obviously in different age ranges. Terry is the one that's actually the oldest. The middle child is, again, they're all the same sisters, and they all grew up in the same household. Yes, they're pretty prima donnas. They remind me of Lola, definitely. Absolutely a Lola Loud. And like Lenny and Lori, they do talk. They're just like those that actually like to be on their cell phone. They like to look pretty. And they even go to, look, there's literally, okay, the spoiler ahead though, but there is literally an episode where they literally go to the mall. And I'm like, God damn it, this is a Lenny thing.
What else? Where else do they go
Do you like the T sisters?
I will say, like, along with Lita and and some others, the 3 were definitely the more engaging of the Primos. Like,
actually, yeah.
Like I said, not favorite Primo yet, not favorite character status yet, but you know what? Like, I'll keep an eye out for those 3. Those 3 are...
Yeah, one of them is currently one of my favorites right now for the Primos. So, yes, you'll see later who it'll be. She literally had an episode that was absolutely great.
Nice.
Then we can talk to Lot Lot, who's literally Lucy Loud. Come on. Come on. She literally, like, goes invisible. She literally just goes to the darkness. She does some dark spells and stuff like that. I'm like, we really have a Lucy Loud here in the Primos, do we?
Like from what I could tell from the hairstyle, she looks like if Miko from Glitch Text had a younger goth sister.
Oh my God.
Like, you look at the hairstyle, it's definitely Miko.
It is, but like you totally see from the hoodie that she wears and the purple that she does. It definitely feels dark magic-y. So I'm like, God damn it! And like you saw the episode where like the doll came out, or like what was it? Sorry,
Lot's doll.
Yeah, Lot's doll with Tater.
Cursed,
yeah, and it was cursed, or like she's making it cursed with Tater.
Yeah, I will say that that episode, I definitely enjoyed that episode a lot because it gave me what I wanted, and that is I want more episodes where Tater shares the spotlight with one of the Primos.
Yeah, keep watching it. Just keep watching it.
Yes.
But yeah, are you impressed with Lot being a Lucy Loud?
I'm impressed that Lot still managed to have charm of her own. She didn't just come off as a 99-cent Lucy Loud. No, Lot managed to stand out on her own.
Yeah, I think she's like kind of more cursed than Lucy, to be fair. She also does like the dark magic and it works for somehow. Sometimes Lucy's doesn't work, so.
Yeah, and also from what I've seen, Lot does seem to be, like much creepier as well.
Yeah, especially with a creepy doll like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that. Then there's Scooter, which, to be fair, like in the first 2 episodes, we don't see much about him, but later on, we do get an episode about him.
I would say, like, Scooter is probably my least favorite, basically because of the fact of how he's the blandest of the Primos.
He's just the only thing that he does is that he's shy. Yes, that's the only thing that I got from him from the first 2 episodes. But again, I can't spoil.
That's what I mean. Like, he just doesn't really stand out to me as much as the other Primos. Like, he's not hateable or anything. He's just kind of forgettable.
Okay, that makes sense. Yes,
he's forgettable. Yeah,
he's forgettable. And then we also have Gordita, who is pretty much Lucy Loud. Look, she literally has a science beaker right there in her hands.
Gordita, the best way I could describe Gordita is that from her character design, she looks like if Lisa Loud went into Hogwarts.
Okay, because of the whole scarf thing. Come on. I mean, when you first saw her, she's doing experiments, and I'm like, oh god, we have a Lisa Loud here, do we?
Yeah, but like Gordita manages to stand out as, she's one of my favorites by far because of how much fun she has doing her experiments and how she gives wisdom to Tater.
That's true, because she does do that, especially later on in the episode. I'm trying my best not to spoil because actually whatever Omid's saying is actually going to happen.
Yeah, somehow. I think that's kind of the thing is that whatever I wish for the show to do, I have a feeling the show's going to give me that.
It will. But again, just watch the show. Then we also have the 3 younger siblings of the Primos. We have Nachito, who is, Nacho's younger brother. And Nachito is trying to look up to not Lindell Jr., to Nacho, the big brother. And I like that. It's kind of cool. Like, he's looking up to him. He wants to be like him. And the other thing, too, is that he reminds me of Carl Casagrande for some reason.
Yeah, he does give off that vibe. I mean, let's be honest. Does Nachito, scheme?
No, he doesn't scheme. He's like a wholesome little child who loves his big brother.
So he's the anti-Carl.
Then who would he reference then? I don't know who can relate to him.
I don't know. That the thing is, we don't want to spend too much time. We try to stray away from comparing this to Casagrande's and Loud House, but we just can't help it. There are some characters that remind me of
exactly.
those.
Yeah, there's too many of them. And the other 2 that we're going to discuss is also related to Loud characters, like Cha-Cha, for example.
Yeah.
She reminds me of Lana. I'm very sorry. Like, Lana Loud, she's an animal herself. She loves animals and stuff. But like Cha-Cha, she acts like an animal. And it kind of reminds me of a younger Lana.
Yeah, the thing with Cha-Cha, I never saw him as, someone who reminds me of Lana Loud. There's actually one Nickelodeon character that Cha-Cha reminds me of, and that's Darwin from the Wild Wolverines.
Because he's an animal himself.
Yeah, like Cha-Cha is a female, Darwin. Not Darwin, Donnie.
Monkey? I thought Darwin's the animal.
No, Darwin, from what I remember, Darwin's the name with the...
Oh, yeah, monkey. Donnie, yeah, that's right.
Like, Cha-Cha's the female Donnie.
Kind of does, yeah. But I like Cha-Cha. She's adorable, and she likes to dig around and stuff.
I need to see more of her character, but, I have mixed feelings about Cha-Cha, but I do hope that they grow her to be more enjoyable. Mm-hmm. There are times when she kind of got under my skin a bit, but then there are times where she was endearing.
I see. And then last but not least, we have Lucita, who is like the baby of the Primos. And come on, reminds me of Lily Loud, right? That's right, I see a Lily.
Lucita is precious. Lucita's a precious, adorable being, yeah.
I know, and she has the fairy wings, and she's always like asking for stuff really prettily. I'm like, oh my god, okay, I get it. Like, you're trying to wow me or something.
There are times where her cuteness is even used as an effective weapon.
And it works. Like, I think, was that one episode where, like, I think, what was it? Lucita was like asking Tater about her diary or something.
Yeah, and then the rainbows come out. That is beautiful. That's good use of animation right there.
Indeed. Again, you said you don't have your favorite Primo yet.
I don't have my favorite Primo yet, but however, I do have a favorite character in the series so far.
You do have a favorite character. Oh, I know who it is. Yeah, I know.
Nelly.
And nothing wrong with her. She's actually really funny. Yeah. I'm sorry, like that one episode where like she was trying to fish for socks.
Yes. Yeah, it was so funny. Like, and then there was one time where, in order to get out of doing the, get out of Tater's plans, what she does, like she tries to like blend it with the TOs, TOCon.
Yeah, I remember that.
TO convention. I'm just like,
and she was a TO. She just wears a mustache and she just walks around with the TOs.
Like I said, every scene with her is a show steal. Like she pretty much carries a show for me.
I just the fact that she was like acting like a pirate while she was trying to fight for socks.
Yes. Like honestly, yeah, she's the one that stands out to me the most. But
I feel.
what is your favorite character?
Again, the T sisters, definitely the T sisters. I'd like Tonita a lot actually after one episode I saw. So that's my favorite currently. Okay. But again, you'll see more Primos come up later. But eventually, you'll have a favorite Primos soon.
Yeah, the thing about favorite characters is that they're not exactly set in stone. Like there's going to be an episode later on where our favorites could change. It's happened to me a few times. But yeah.
Let's talk about the story of the show because there are like 3 stories that happen in Primos. First off, Tater living with the Primos. Obviously, it's kind of chaotic for Tater, but how do you like the adventure of Tater trying to like live with the Primos and bond with the Primos?
Yeah, the first thing I thought of Tater is that honestly, I do feel for her because, well, she does need her space. Everyone does need their own space, especially during summertime. They want to plan things out. And when you have this many amount of cousins, it can get overwhelming.
Yeah, I don't know how Tater can deal with the whole Primos and stuff, but no, like from the first episode, you get to see her like get chaotic. For example, like what is it? She wanted some quiet space, but she can't, so that's why she's like huddled herself up in a blanket to do not disturb. Yeah, if you remember that scene. She wants some alone time, but she can't have alone time anymore because of the Primos.
I know. Yeah, it's just like from that point on, I'm just like I'm kind of rooting for Tater to get her quiet time because everyone needs their quiet time.
Indeed, yeah, and I understand like why Tater is like having some issues right now because it was supposed to be the summer of her. Instead, it turns out to be the summer of Primos. Mm-hmm. There's so much Primos that she has to handle that her life goal needs to be pushed back a little bit.
If I had that many relatives in my household, I feel overwhelmed too.
So yes, that was one story about Tater trying to live with the Primos, and yes, so far from what I was seeing, she's having a tough time with it. Mm-hmm. There's also the story about Tater having her life, getting her future life going. Mm-hmm. Like if you're like that old, like I think it was like 9 years old, 10 years old, but do you have that kind of thing that Tater does? Yeah.
Like as a younger sibling myself, and as someone who doesn't have that many cousins, like visiting, I've never been in the situation where Tater has, but there are times where like I've had relatives come to visit and I have to entertain them. So yeah.
No, my thing is like, do you have a vision board? Do you have like what Tater's doing for this summer, where she wants to have a vision of like what she wants to see herself in the future?
I actually don't, because to be honest, I'm not that creative. Like I never thought about when I grow up I'm going to be this, I want to be that. As a kid I wanted to be an actor, but well, it didn't really go anywhere for me in the future. But that's really about it.
You tried to. I mean, you had classes that had acting classes.
I did.
I never had that before. But usually when I was a 9-year-old, 10-year-old kid, I was just, doing my own thing, like playing video games, like going out, watching movies, etc., that kind of thing. Uh-huh. I just never expect to actually see something like what Tater's doing, having a vision board, seeing the future for herself.
Yeah.
And to be fair, that actually is a big thing about this story, because that is how it starts. Like, Tater wants to find her true self, but with the Primos around, it gets distracting that she can't really find her future. But that's one thing that is in the story, that she needs to find that future, especially if this is the summer of her.
Yeah, and to be honest, the Primos could help her out with the vision by giving her advice, inspiring her to take on new tasks that they would. That sort of thing.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes in the future episodes of the Primos. Mm-hmm. Last but not least, how do you like the fact that this story relates to the creator's real life? I
do like the fact. Now, judging by the fact of how this is based on the creator's own real life, in which she had many cousins, many relatives visiting her, in the same way Tater did. I'm just like, by that factor alone, I'm rooting for this to be successful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the thing is that, again, we were all overlooking the fact that this is only a story about the creator and her life, living in the Inland Empire with many cousins, that we totally overshadowed it compared to what we saw in the real show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, the real show is absolutely different than what we thought about when we first saw the first glimpse of it back in 2023.
Yeah, and like even when I wasn't on board with this, I still, there was a part of me that wanted to see it because of, it's based on Natasha's life, so yeah.
Well, I was just curious, like how I first ever touched Primos was just randomly over at Disney Channel, and I first saw the few episodes over at Disney Plus, and I'm like, this ain't bad.
Yeah.
You saw me in the plane watching Primos, so
I saw you in the plane watching Primos, and I was just like, I'm not there yet.
I know you're not there yet, but were you like interested in like watching it now after I saw it?
I was semi-curious. I wasn't there up to a point where I immediately want to watch it, but I was just like, oh, okay, the animation looks decent at least.
Mm-hmm. And then now you're watching Primos now, so
now I'm on board with Primos.
All right, so let's talk about the first 2 episodes of Primos. Overall, the first episode of Primos was just Tater. We're getting introduced to Tater and her family as well as the Primos. Then the second episode was where the Primos actually came into the house, and this is where Tater like tried to lock herself into her room and not have the Primos come into their room and stuff. Yes. So, what are your overall thoughts on those first 2 episodes of Primos?
The first 2 episodes did quite an adequate job of introducing what Tater is like, her relationship with her immediate family, and then the later on you see Tater's interactions with her extended family. So I do like how like the more we get into this episode, the first episode at least, the bigger the family we see.
I think the first thing that comes to mind is like we get introduced to each Primo, and then literally right at the end of the first episode, we just get a group photo. Yeah. And you get to see Tater go,
this is only the summer of me!
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
And then that's the end of the episode. And then immediately the second episode pops up where it's just all about the Primos. And of course, Tater's like, journal entry this. I have had a lot of Primos. I don't think I could be able to survive the summer. And then this whole thing about like having the Primos be the roommates obviously is a big issue. So you see Tater just like go through every Primo just to sign like some sort of like contract for them to say, hey, you can't bring this, you can't bring that to the room. And of course they all disagreed.
Yeah, this definitely like the best way I could describe episode 1 is that this definitely feels like a part 1 and part 2 because of how they correlate with each other.
Mm-hmm, yeah. And I love how they try to make a resolution after it all. Like, for example, like I get it, like the Primos are just taking over like Tater and Nellie's room. And in the end, like they, if anything, like they want to live over in that room, but they will at least respect people's like personal stuff. So like the diary of Tater's, like they didn't destroy it, they didn't do anything with it.
Yeah, Tater thought that they would, but they at least have the decency and respect to avoid looking at her diary. Yeah.
And then they also did have the faint of heart when they actually played that like Dungeons and Dragons little mixed game.
Yeah, it definitely felt like a Dungeons and Dragons game, but a different theme.
No, I understand it's a different theme because you can't obviously copyright D&D into that game, into the show. But it was because of a game that made them like like each other, and then they started playing the game all together, and yeah, that turned out to be the way to resolve everything.
Yeah, nothing brings family together like a good old board game.
Mm-hmm. And no doubt, I mean, I think that was a pretty good episode.
Yeah,
overall.
Yeah, honestly, there were parts of the episode that got too obnoxious for me, but then the ending turns out to be heartwarming.
I just feel like every ending has been heartwarming. I mean, if you go to the next episode where we talked about, the doll was one thing, where was it, Lot and Tater started to bond.
Yeah, that actually is my favorite because it gave me something that I've been asking the show to do, and it's give more episodes where Tater forms a strong bond with one Primo,
and it works out with that one Primo, and it currently is Lot right now.
Yeah, and I'm just like, okay, like I think these are the best kinds of episodes because with these kinds of episodes, the Primos they have their own character. They feel like their own character rather than an ensemble.
I mean, it's kind of like what the Loud House is, to be fair.
It's what the Loud House season 1 did, where Lincoln has had episodes where he shares the spotlight with 1 or 2 Loud sisters, and they feel the sisters as a result feel like legit characters rather than an ensemble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So again, that one episode there, what we talked about was Lot and Tater bonding, and then the other episode that also popped up during that run for the second episode was where you get to see Tater's mom struggling to handle all the Primos.
Yeah.
And I thought that was actually really touching. The fact that like, oh, you have Nelly and Tater do all these chores, and Tater hates the chores. And then their mom is just continuing to have fun, but at the same time you could see her suffer because she's like, I can't handle all these Primos. I'm sorry, I can't do this, that. And then she's like tearing up a bit.
Yeah, Nelly feels really stressed. Not Nelly. Like Tater's mom is really stressed, and you know, like,
and it makes sense because she's handling so many people in a household.
Yeah, and you know, but we don't see it until like the middle. Along with Tater, we thought that, you know, Tater's mom was all cool with it, but actually she isn't.
And if you haven't seen the trend, by the way, like there is the conflict stuff, and then there's a resolution. There's like that one part in the middle of the episode that starts to get like very wholesome, and then you have your resolution pop up. And I feel like these episodes are trending that way. Like there's a problem, you get to see what the issue of the problem, and then it gets resolved at the end.
I think that's how like these cartoon slice of life shows work,
and it's working out right now for the Primos. Like the episode where the Summer of Primos episode. This is where like Tater tried to resolve the Primos like room situation by like settling down and making sure that all the Primos respect their personal space to say. And then the next episode we get to see Tater make a schedule for every Primo to do this and that so that the mom doesn't get too stressed.
Yeah.
Which I thought was brilliant.
Yeah, that's really good planning. Like she really is, like she's really a good planner. The way that she forms summer plans and the way she resolves things, like having each Primo do each task.
Yeah. Also Nelly just being crazy with socks.
Fishing for socks. Like, Nelly is best girl, I stand her.
And then last but not least, we talked about Lot with Tater, like, you know, teaming up and stuff. And I thought that was actually pretty cool. Like Lot trying to bond with Tater by scaring her a lot.
Yeah. Like she has.
Why don't we work with something together? And then they scare the Primos, and then now they're just like chilling together now.
Yeah, Lot has her own way of trying to bond with her cousin. I think like each cousin has her own way of trying to bond with Tater.
Yeah, and I still say that's still pretty brilliant for them to do.
Definitely.
All right, but yeah, so those are the episodes of Primos. Let's actually talk about the overall thoughts. So after the first episodes that you've seen, Omid, what are your overall thoughts on the show?
My overall thoughts on the show, I thought that from what I've seen, I think it's okay. Like, you know, I'm not going to say it's great. I'm not going to say it's bad either. I'm going to say it ranges from okay at worst to enjoyable at best.
Well, for an overhated show, it definitely doesn't deserve the hate. I say it's actually pretty good. I've been seeing the episodes of Primos, and they're not been doing bad so far. Like, I get it. There's some characters that could be a little bit obnoxious, like Nacho, who loves to fart a lot.
Don't get me started.
I get it. And then there's traits that just keep on relating to me with every Loud House character, like Gordita being the scientist, the T sisters being the cheerleaders. Just so many relative like characters that relate to me with the Loud House that I'm just like, I'm pretty sure I'm not watching Loud House, right?
Yeah. How original.
I mean, somebody actually pointed this out. Apparently, some of the creators of some of the people who worked on Loud House actually worked on Primos too.
Yeah, and there's even some who worked on Loud House of Consequences that even praise it, like Miguel Puga, for example.
Yeah, you have to follow Puga Senpai. Sorry, not Puga Senpai. You have to follow Puga. See,
Miguel
if he
Puga
likes it,
praised the
if
show.
he likes it, then you should like it too.
Well, not always.
Come on, Casa Grande's fans. If Puga likes it, you should like it too.
Again, I understand, you know, the first impressions, just by seeing the title, by seeing the opening. All I was saying is, give the episode 1 or 2 episodes. You can judge for yourself whether this is for you or not.
I do say like this does if anything, I've already explained it all. It has been overhated. I feel like this show is absolutely great. Who knows if we'll have a second season because of all the hate, but if it only has 1 season, I'm okay with it. It's not bad of a show. I would say like not as big of a disaster like I was gonna say Dave the Barbarian, but
don't you dare. I'll give you a better example. I'll do you one better.
What's a worse example than Dave the Barbarian? What's like one of the Disney TVA's busts?
Pickle and Peanuts.
Okay, yeah, that's like a bad one too.
Don't get me started on Pickle and Peanuts. Just, oh god.
Yeah, it's just garbage, I would say. I don't know. Disney TV, like I said, Disney TVA had some really weird stuff back in the 2010s.
Yeah, but like Pickle and Peanut looked like it belonged in, you know, the bad era of Nickelodeon with Fanboy Chum Chum Breadwinners. It can be those vibes.
It's not a dud like that. Primos is actually like as wholesome. Maybe like in the I wouldn't say same level as Big City Greens, but maybe in the level of like Ghost and Molly McGee. Maybe something around there.
To me, Ghost of Molly McGee season 1 at least is still better than this, but I would say like Primos does, it's an okay show that is watchable at least. I'm just glad that they made some changes, because without the changes, it would have been a dud.
Indeed, yes. And if anything, they did make the effort, and look at it now. It's actually turning out to be better than expected.
Yeah, so like I said, I admire the fact that Natasha listened. Natasha and the cast and crew made some changes, and it changed, for the better.
Mm-hmm. Well, nonetheless, Primos is currently out on Disney Channel, having new episodes every Saturday. You can also watch Primos episodes on Disney Plus too. But yes, Primos is currently out, and it's been fun. It's been a good show. I wouldn't say one of Disney's best, but if anything, it's a Disney show. It's good.
Oh yeah, Primos.
Oh yeah, Primos. Oh yeah, Primos.
that song not leave my head.
Now it's getting addicted to you.